Let's talk about the EB-1A visa category.
Under page 101, is the evidence there to show that? The best file is when I open it and there's a table of contents, who this person is, introducing them to me, what their background is, what their endeavor is. If it's a very dark background, you're not going to be able to see it very well. It is not the officer's job to be the detective.
Let's do a simulation. Let's talk about the EB-1A visa category. Can you walk us through how do you review the file and what are the steps that you take in order to make sure that this person has real.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you're looking does the person, like you said, have the impact, and does the person meet the criteria? And is the evidence there to show that? And is the evidence there to, so I can clearly connect it to the legal standard of what is needed for that filing? And that's where I think people see a lot of RFEs. RFEs, which is requests for evidence. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad news. It just really tells you that the officer still has questions. It may be that the evidence is actually missing, or the evidence is there, but the officer is not really understanding how it connects to what the legal standard is, of how it connects to the criteria that you're trying to prove. Or honestly, it's there and the officer just cannot seem to find it because it's buried, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen that. I've seen where there's hundreds of pages of a journal article, and all of a sudden, right, under page 101, there's a job offer, right? Email, something that just is randomly hidden, something that can be easily missed, because I'm not going through page by page by page of a journal article. I'm looking to where it really you know makes sense for
Yeah.
the legal standard and the criteria. So the best file is when I open it and there's a table of contents. It's telling me
Okay.
exactly what page to look at. There's a great summary that's usually written by the attorney, a brief summary, however you want to call it, but really just summarizing who this person is, introducing them to me, what their background is, what their endeavor is, and here is why this person meets this and this prong, or this and this criteria, right? And where I can find this evidence, just really just it's a map, it's just leading me down. And a file is the way it's filed is the way the table of content is going. Everything is labeled, everything has a page number, and everything is easy to read. And that's one thing I think a lot of people don't understand, is that, all these files get scanned into a system that USCIS uses, that then an officer looks at. And, we all know the way things get scanned sometimes, if it's a very dark background, you're not going to be able to see it very well. If there's a highlighter that was used, that highlighter might then delete the words
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
actually be
Yeah.
looked at as a highlighter. So I always say, don't use a highlighter, do not use dark background. If you really want an officer to read a certain area of, for example, a 100-page journal article, let that officer know. Make it as simple as possible for the officer to find exactly what they're looking for, and not question that. It is not the officer's job to be the detective. It is their job to adjudicate the case, right?